Aloha, Micah Skye here with Mandala Cuisine. I wanted to show you guys the recipe for kombucha. This is an easy to grow probiotic culture that you can grow in your house. All you need is sugar and water. We've all had it with the Synergy. You've seen a multitude, High Country, Rejuvenate's another one now I think that have come out. They're expensive, $3.50, $4 a bottle. And it's really easy to make. You can customize your own. You can really fine-tune the pH balance. And people that actually don't even like kombucha love the kombucha that I brew. So I'm going to pan down here so you can kind of see a little bit of the setup. I actually recycle these bottles. So these are for a different kind of a probiotic drink, but they seal nicely for fermentation. And so I recycle these bottles. Once I buy some at the store, I'll get a certain collection going. And I'll actually use them and wash them and continuously use them through my batches. You can see right here, this is actually a kombucha scoby, okay? As you can see, this is an extra one I had. I'm just going to throw away actually. Well, throw away or eat, we'll see. I have a ton of them. They grow into this on the surface of the tea. Now, I'm going to teach you how to actually get a kombucha mushroom without even having to buy one. Just buy yourself a kombucha from the store. Look for one with one of those goopy scobies floating in the top, and you can actually grow one of these from one of those scobies. So, super easy. The first batch I would probably do a gallon of water, and the basic formula is a gallon of water with a cup of sugar. And I like to use roughly about 8 to 12 tea bags for each gallon, depending. I primarily use green tea. I prefer it. Black tea is real powerful. I used to use a black and green tea combination. Now I usually just go with green. You can buy big bulk amounts of it at Costco, both things, sugar and tea. And so the first batch where you actually grow one of these probably won't be drinkable tea, but you'll get this, and the next time you get the next cycle you do, bada bing, bada boom. Now these are 3-gallon glass jars that I purchased at Costco. They hold, I think, 3.5 to 4 gallons, and they have spigots, which are very handy with bottling. Now, I see a lot of people that brew kombucha, and they seem to be missing a key component with drinking kombucha, with bottling kombucha, and that is the double fermentation process. Every time I try different people's kombucha, it's always flat or very vinegary. It takes about 5 to 7 days with a healthy SCOBY to ferment a batch. As soon as it starts to ferment is when you need to bottle it. As soon as you taste the tiniest bit of carbonation, it needs to be bottled. Now, I bottle with fruit juices. So this right here is an organic, I think the Santa Cruz Juice Company. It's a lemon raspberry or a raspberry lemonade. And so I'll take, and the recipe goes for, we're going to put about 10% juice in the bottom of this. So about, I don't know if you can see in the light, it's just below this little label line, about right there, okay? And then I'm going to fill the other, see if I can get this to where you can see. I'm going to fill the other 90% with the actual tea that is just primarily, and if you're really good with this, you can actually literally within 3 days have a fully nicely carbonated effervescent kombucha that's perfectly pH balanced. Otherwise, I've had batches that I've double fermented. Okay, and so this is really important now. See, I want you to see where that level of tea is. That's almost a little too high. You need to leave a specific space, not too much and not too little. So that's okay still for where we're at. Not too much, not too little of oxygen at the top. When you seal this, okay, In fact, I'm going to dump just a tiny, tiny bit out. So about right there. If you can see, it's about right there. It's about the healthy line that you want. It really makes a difference with how fast it double ferments. Now I have a few different flavors here. I have a lemon ginger. Then I have a green spirulina. I take a fourth teaspoon of chlorella, but you can use anything. Spirulina, chlorella, you can use a combination of the two. And then I use a little bit of lemon ginger juice as a base for this one. This is our raspberry lemonade. I like to have an assortment of flavors to kind of change it up, which you can do, and you'll have your favorites that you use, and you'll find a specific juice puree that might really work for you. But bottom line is, these ferment, they do not have to be refrigerated. Even the bottles, as they double ferment, don't have to be refrigerated. So if, per se, you went off the grid, there was no power, this is a functional, nutritional, probiotic drinking system that you don't need refrigeration for. It's nice to refrigerate them, and when they do get to a certain amount of bubbly, and this is how I check, I do a little 1-2 shake like that, just a little one to watch the acceleration. As I see that it's fermenting properly in the double fermentation process, I throw them in the fridge, because when they are cold, it slows down the fermentation and it preserves it longer, but you can keep them for double fermenting for quite some time. Now, I'll take the bottle as I get down to the last. We're coming down to the last couple that I'm going to be able to bottle. And then once I get this down to about 10%, I'll fill this up and have this just be a big, family one that I'll bust open one morning or evening with dinner. So I'm going to take a little bit more out of this. Okay. That's good, and we're going to fill this one up. Now, I also have something here that we haven't brought to play. This is the chlorella. I actually ground up some chlorella tablets into a powder in a coffee grinder. So I'm going to put my 4th teaspoon in this right here. And now we're going to start filling. So you guys can see it a little bit better. It's not that glamorous, but yeah, I like to tilt the bottle to the side of the spigot too, kind of like pouring a beer, so I don't let out too much of the natural carbonation. Okay, let's see where we're at. That's a little high still. Remember I told you about giving some space for it to breathe. That's pretty good. Let me see if I can hold it in front of the window. You can see it's about right there. So I'm going to cap this one up. You don't have to cap these too tight either, because they do build pressure. So we're going to cap this one up now. And we're good to go. Now I'll show you. I like to keep mine in a little storage fleet right here. See if you can see them all. Kinda. You can see them all right there. I have them lined up in the different flavors. With these 2 brewing cisterns, so to speak, brewing containers, I usually get around probably 30 to 35 bottles every 10 to 12 days. So, you'll have vintages that actually are a couple cycles ago that you were saving some special one that you put something special in, some kind of a specific medicinal root or something you're experimenting with. Okay, so now we're going to do this one, and we might as well go green with it because, well, in this time globally and with the radiation and stuff, I'll take whatever nutrition I can get. So I'm going to put 2 for this size. I think this is a 32, so I'm putting basically a 4th teaspoon per 16 ounce. And now we're going to get this bad boy pouring. I'll move that out of your way so you can see a little bit better. I got it pouring on the side now. What do I do with these guys right here? Well, I'm going to drain it down till it has about 10% of the old tea left. and I'm going to then start the next batch of tea. And so this 10% right here helps the mushroom adjust, helps the culture, I should say. It's a cross between a yeast and a fungus. So it's not actually technically a mushroom, but it does have the texture of. And I'm going to touch base on, let's see. So this one's getting pretty low down to the last 10%. So I'm going to go to this one and finish it out. Now, I don't flavor these containers. These always stay plain. You always add your flavor after for the double fermentation process, okay? And anyone who's local, anyone who's local style, who wants a mushroom, a mother scoby, a mother culture, I'm happy to give those to you and help you get set up. If they're available. So feel free to hit me up. I gotta tilt this. It's almost there. I'm gonna show you the same kind of a thing with the good. Leaving a little space. I want you to see the space I left here at the top. I left a space about right there, about an inch. And we're gonna seal this. And we're gonna put this in our storage area. Boom. And I could probably get one more bottle out of this one right here. And I mean, that's really where it's at too. At this point, it's not going to taste carbonated, but I know that it will be carbonating and will be carbonated by the end of the journey. So I might as well get one more bottle taken care of. And then I'm going to start the actual water for tea. And get that going, and we'll go through that process real quick, and you'll be on your way. All right? In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring that up in a part 2 for you guys, okay? So you can check that part out separately, how to actually brew and get the setup going. I'm Micah Skye from MANDALA Cuisine. Thank you so much for watching. Aloha, be safe, and Satnam.